What's going on YouTube? I'm Andrew Crawford, the HD Legend, yo boy, the GOAT, not the GOAT, but I look like a GOAT, close enough, am I right? I think I'm right, and today on the channel, I'll be talking about a 3-time WWE Champion, a 5-time Intercontinental Champion, 1-time United States Champion, 7-time Tag Team Champion alongside his older brother, from Cameron, North Carolina, weighing in at 225 pounds, the charismatic enigma, and one of my favorites of all time. Obviously, he's number 2, Jeffrey Nero Hardy. Now, that 37 seconds of your life that you probably wanted to jump off a bridge is over, let me talk about Jeff Hardy. I named his accolades, but what's he mean to me as far as being a wrestling fan? I'll put it like this. Childhood nostalgia. Nostalgia does a lot for the brain. When I was 8, I had a bedtime because my mom wanted me to grow up and get a good education. So, the only time I was allowed to stay up and watch pay-per-views were while I was on school breaks or while I was on summer break, you know? Okay, summer break is a school break, so, you know. In December of 2008, I was on Christmas break, and the annual, at that point, Armageddon pay-per-view was on. And the reason I just held this beautiful belt up, that night, Jeff Hardy faced off against 2 more of my top 10 favorite wrestlers of all time, Triple H, and the man I'll be talking about in my next video, the rated R superstar Edge. This was the first time Jeff Hardy ever won the WWE Championship. And anytime someone that you even remotely like wins the title, it's a big deal. But when it's one of your all-time favorites, it's a huge deal. I'm talking your favorite team won the Super Bowl. Huge. At least for a fan, at least. So that's what Jeff means to me as far as the fact that I'm a fan of his. And so for the next 10 matches, we're going to talk about him. Number 10, I'm going with the first ever tables, ladders, and chairs match. SummerSlam 2000. Let me set the stage. The Dudley Boys, the masters of the tables. Edge and Christian, the master of the chairs. The L stands for ladder. Does that look like an L from like y'all's point of view? I said that would look more like an L. The L stood for ladders. The Hardy Boys were the masters of the ladders. This match was literally what it would look like if you took the fun parts of a demolition derby, put them in a wrestling ring, and said, go nuts. The Hardys, Edge and Christian, and the Dudleys, the 3 greatest tag teams of all time in my opinion, but the Usos are about to be up there. Killed it. There is no other word for what this match was other than these guys killed it. Jeff done his usual crazy stuff. There was one spot, him and Devon were hanging from the titles, and this is probably my favorite story of Devon's. Devon was terrified of heights, fun fact, and Jeff was kicking this man when they were like 10 feet above the ring. He was just like, and Devon was screaming, literally screaming, quit kicking me, and it was the funniest thing ever. He was just like, Jeff was over here kicking at him, and then Devon just said screw it and let go, and after that he was kind of over his fear of heights. So Jeff cured a man on accident. Let's get to the next one. Number 9 versus Umaga, rest in peace, at Extreme Rules / One Night Stand 2008. The opener for the show, back when Extreme Rules actually had stipulations, these two went all in for a probably 14-minute match that a lot of people probably don't remember. But it ended with Jeff Hardy jumping off of a semi-truck doing a swanton bomb to Umaga. Yeah, that's one way for a match to end. But not even that. There were other pretty fun spots. You know, Jeff doing the little You know the handrail on the stairs? He slid down one of those and like clotheslined him. He sprayed Umaga with a fire extinguisher. Had a pretty nifty crossbody. So it's not the most technically sound match, but for the one spot where he decided, I'm going to jump off a semi-truck, because what else is there to do? Kind of got to give that the respect it deserves. And not to mention, Umaga's a criminally underrated worker. May he rest in peace. Your family is carrying on the Samoan professional wrestling tradition very well right now. Number 8, his match with Matthew Moore Hardy at WrestleMania 25. For those of you that are thinking Jeff Hardy, Matt Hardy, are they related because you've never watched wrestling and live under a rock? Yeah, they're brothers. The original storyline, I feel like, for me, it was Matt was jealous, so he was causing Jeff's life to kind of suck, you know. In the storyline, a bunch of real-life stuff kind of happened to Jeff, and they brought it all into the storyline. You know, Jeff got ran off the road, you know, attacked in his stairwell. That second one was storyline. His house burned down, and they used that in the storyline. You know, his pyrotechnics went bad again, part of the storyline. So there were only 2 incidents where it was like actually real and they put in the storyline. But anyways, Matt was jealous, so he was trying to ruin Jeff's career. Even cost Jeff the WWE Championship at Royal Rumble 2009. This is just a beautiful like story of sibling rivalry. WWE does a lot of stuff very well, but one of the things they do exceptionally well is sibling rivalries. Look at Bret Hart versus Owen. Look at this rivalry, because they got, I think one of their other matches is on this list. And even look at the one match that Goldust and Stardust had, aka Cody Rhodes and Dustin Rhodes, because that match was amazing. People will sleep on it and say it wasn't just because they don't like the Stardust gimmick. Well, that's their own problem. It was a great match. Anyways, Jeff and Matt at WrestleMania 25. They killed it. Extreme Rules. Matt won. Probably the wrong decision, but they made up for it at Backlash. Let me explain. Number 7, the I Quit match at Backlash 2009. You might be asking yourself, why is this match up here? Again, part of the Matt Hardy feud, and there was just, the ending of the match was the most beautiful part, you know. Jeff tied and duct taped Matt Hardy to a table while he was doing this. Fun fact, Jeff legitimately broke Matt Hardy's hand on this. The hand that was on top, so I don't know which hand that was. But it legitimately got broke. And you know, Jeff was at the top of a ladder, or on the top rope about to do his little ladder leapfrog leg drop. And Matt, you know, had the ref give him the mic. And he said, Jeff. And Jeff said, what would Dad think watching at home? And then he said, what would Mom in heaven think? And then Jeff was just like, about to do it anyways. Like, screw it. You cross the line, bro. I'm gonna break your hand. Which, it wasn't supposed to happen, but it did, so And then Matt literally said, I quit. Like, quit, lost the match, because that's the stipulation of an I quit match. If the wrestler you're facing says, I quit, you win the match. Jeff said, did it anyways. Broke Matt's hand in the process, but it was a fun little tidbit, and I thoroughly enjoy this match every time I watch it. In fact, when I get done making this video, I'm gonna watch it. That being said, let's go to the next one. Number 6. His first opportunity at this. Not this specific belt, but it came in a ladder match versus The Undertaker that in my last video you heard me discuss. You heard me talk about the respect thing. But I talked about what The Undertaker did. You know, pummeled Jeff Hardy. For Jeff's side, let's look at what he did. 1. Put up a valiant effort as a known tag team wrestler against a man who is perceived by many to be the greatest professional wrestler of all time. Okay, there's that. 2. He used that ladder like it was a true... See, when you think of weapons, you think of a sword, a gun, or, a hammer, or something stupid. No, weapons obviously ain't stupid. In wrestling, weapons are ladders, chairs, kendo sticks, baseball bats, barbed wire baseball bats, thumbtacks even. And a weapon is supposed to be an extension of the limb that you're using that weapon with. Jeff was using this ladder like it was an extension of his body, He was just so fluent at using it. And it's just such a beautiful little match. And then there was a tidbit of how the match started where Jeff just kind of got on the Undertaker's motorcycle and was acting like he was going to ride it. It was really funny. But anyways, let's get to the top 5. Number 5, the first time he won the championship in 2008. Jeff Hardy made his WWE debut in 1993 against a man by the name of Razor Ramon. Some of you know him better as Scott Hall. May he rest in peace. Jeff Hardy won the WWE Championship for the very first time in the year 2008. To put it delicately, or to put it simply, my roommate, who is watching LeBron play right now, is 23. Is that right? He wasn't alive when Jeff Hardy debuted. I wasn't even conceived. My brother was, but I wasn't. My sister was alive, but I wasn't. 15 years after his debut, Jeff Hardy finally won this title by hitting a spot that, due to camera work, kind of sucks, but due to camera work also made it even better. Triple H has Edge pinned after a pedigree. The ref's hand comes down for 1. The ref's hand doesn't get to come down for 2 because Jeff Hardy does a swanton bomb onto Triple H and Edge. Triple H rolls out of the ring. Jeff pins Edge. 1, 2, 3. Jeff Hardy is the WWE Champion for the first time in his 15-year career. So, the moment was wonderful. The match was fun to watch, honestly. It's not the greatest triple threat of all time. That is something else that is rarely mentioned anymore. But anyways, but the moment is so special, it has to be mentioned. Same as this one. Number 4, Night of Champions 2009 versus CM Punk. This match, I will deem it Jeff's best technical exhibition of his career. Exhibition, that's for like a match that ain't worth anything. Jeff's best technical match of all time. But this is also a very special moment. Because I remember when I was 9, Mom ordered the Night of Champions pay-per-view, but wasn't going to let me take to watch it because I had school the next day. I had to beg and plead with her. Mom, please let me stay up, you know I love Jeff Hardy, blah, 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 blah. She let me. I remember cheering like a little girl when Jeff Hardy pinned CM Punk. And I remember I was so invested in this match when CM Punk was about to take the count out but keep his title. I was screaming, this is bullcrap, I was mad. And then Jeff got him in the ring, started beating the crap out of him, and then hit the swanton to win the match. I was screaming, bro. Again, I love this match. It was Jeff's best technical match, and honestly, a pure showcase that Jeff is more than just this spot monkey that people have deemed him, and that he is capable of having great moments and great matches. Number 3, versus Edge in a ladder match at Extreme Rules 2009. Those of you that don't know, Jeff Hardy and Edge have a storied rivalry dating back to the 90s in the first ever tag team ladder match. Fast forward about 11 years later. 10 years later? I'm going to say 11 or 10, that's about right. Jeff Hardy and Edge were facing in the main event of the first ever pay-per-view to be labeled Extreme Rules. No one night stand attached, just Extreme Rules. And they weren't just main eventing. They were main eventing for the World Heavyweight Championship. Not this one, but a title that which the replica I hope to hold very soon. This match was off the walls. When you remember how bad Edge's neck was just a mere 2 years before his retirement, and the kind of bumps he was taking, when you remember the fact that Edge and Jeff were on a ladder, and they tilted it over with their body weight, and they both went through the ladder, and when you remember how hard that these two men worked, you were served up with a dish of one of the greatest one-on-one ladder matches of all time. On to the next one. Number 2, TLC 2. This match was wild. You think the first TLC match is something, you ain't ever seen this one. This has the best spot in WrestleMania history when Jeff Hardy's kind of just chilling, hanging from the titles. And Edge climbs the ladder. You know, Jeff is hanging. There's no ladder under him. Edge is on the ladder. And Edge says, screw it. And spears Jeff Hardy from the titles to the floor. Probably knocked Jeff Hardy unconscious, if I'm going to be honest. Probably knocked Edge unconscious. Actually, I know it did because Edge has talked about this. And so has Jeff. You know, this is a spot that, you know, again, my favorite Edge story probably. Actually, my favorite one is his Royal Rumble story, but I can't really ever... I'll explain it in the Edge video. But anyways, Edge said that a dude, like, 10 years later, like right after Edge retired, he was going somewhere to do something, walked up to him and asked him, man, how many times did you and Jeff rehearse that spot? And Edge kind of looked at him like, are you stupid? Which is the appropriate look, because doing that once hurt these men enough. I can't imagine them ever doing it a second time. But that's just my opinion. Well, actually, no, that's a fact. And, anyways, time to find out what the number 1 Jeff Hardy match of all time is. And number 1, you could deem a lot of matches as the number 1 match of Jeff's career. I wouldn't even blame you if you deemed it as the match where he returned. I wouldn't blame you if you deemed it as any of the top 10. You would have to have some strong reasoning to convince me on 10 through 7, but 6 through 2, I understand. But for me personally, I will always give it, to the day I die, I will always give it to the CM Punk SummerSlam Tables, Ladders, and Chairs match. And I'll give it to this match because it took the two things that these guys are best at, storyline and just doing their best to kill each other in front of a live audience, and they combined that into a beautiful match. There is one spot that genuinely, I'm not going to say scares me, but actually no, I'll say it. When CM Punk does a sidewalk slam or a backdrop or something onto the back of a folding chair, and it literally like collapses the chair. These two men put so much on the line in this match that to say it's not Jeff's best match, I mean, I understand an opinion's an opinion, especially for me when it comes to Jeff. If you love Jeff, I mean, you can deem anything you want as his best match because Jeff's criteria for what his best match is more unique than any other criteria. That being said, I personally think it's this ladder match. What do you think it is? Let me know in the comments. But I think it's the TLC match at SummerSlam with CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship that almost culminated their feud. That being said, and that's the video. Did you like it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you feel mid about it? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget about the Jimmy Butler jersey giveaway I'm doing very soon on the channel. And again, like it, share it, subscribe. Just all that stuff, you know? And I will see you soon.